Hey there, this is Beth Parrish with Inspired Riding. I'm a remote coach and certified riding instructor. I specialize in helping equestrians regain their mojo so they can feel safe, confident, and connected with their horses. In this podcast, I'm going to actually focus on regaining your mojo. Have you had a fall recently? Or an injury? Or a sickness? Or something where you just haven't been able to ride in a while? And you're just not sure where to start? Well, let me tell you, there's a process to this. So if you're still healing from an injury, let's say, you've put a lot of time and effort in focusing on that injury. Hopefully you've created some visualizations for yourself to imagine jumping into the perfect blueprint that is your body. And hopefully you're thinking of all the good things that you will be able to do once you're fully healed. But perhaps you got the clearance to just sit on your horse and walk around a little bit, but you're still a little bit unsure. And that's totally normal. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit and talk about a student who I used to teach back in California. It was a little girl, and she was the most determined rider I've ever met. And she would ride this little pony around who was not more than 12 hands. And she did beautifully with this pony, although this pony had a lot of mischievous streaks in him. So she would be riding around beautifully, and next thing you know, the pony would get a little quick and then stop short, twist, turn his body, and then she'd land on the ground. She would jump back up and with tears in her eyes, stomp her feet and say, "I am never riding again." So I would take a deep breath and realize, okay, this kid's totally fine physically. And I would just start talking to her about what exactly happened and what the pony did and what she could do to help prevent something like that happening. And she would listen calmly, and then I would look at her and say, "Okay, are you ready to get back on?" And she would just shrug her shoulders and say, "Okay." So for that's like the condensed version of what can happen to an adult who has fallen off and perhaps gotten hurt. There's that moment of, oh my gosh, that was scary. This hurt so much. I am never getting on a horse again. And I'm sure we've all had those thoughts. You might not actually say them out loud or tell anybody, or you might. I mean, it's really good to just be honest with how you're feeling, but just know that your feelings are going to come and go. And if you have that innate desire, that passion inside of you that has brought you to horses and you've always wanted to ride all your life, and this moment was just really scary, it's totally normal for you to take a pause. What I would suggest is really think about honoring the moment of taking this step back and breathing and honoring your emotions and seeing what's come up. Because if you've had this fall, there could be a bigger reason energetically for you to start looking at your life in a different way. It might be forcing you to get more creative about the work that you do. So for me, I ended up creating an entire online course for equestrians after my big fall last year. I wasn't able to get out there and teach and ride, so I thought, well, I need to get my message out somehow. And that's how I dealt with my pain and my physical therapy, was that I knew I could still be creative and help people remotely. So something just to consider is that things can shift in just a matter of a moment. So if you really are passionate about riding, it is possible to take tiny, tiny steps and work your way back to where you were. You might now have some physical limitations that you'll have to be aware of, but hopefully you'll have a really good physical therapist that can point you in the right direction of how to get back on the horse safely and slowly. My biggest advice is to go as slow as you want. And even if it means just getting on and then getting back off for like months at a time, and then the next few months you just get on and walk for a few minutes and then get off. There's really no race in this. I mean, it's all about connecting with your horse and honoring the fact that they even let you sit on them. With that said, I just want you to go easy on yourself and know that you're not alone. If you'd love more advice on a more personal level, I do offer private remote coaching. And you can reach me on my website, inspiredriding.com, or you can find me on facebook.com/inspiredriding. And may the horse be with you, always.
This is Heike from Horse World Connect. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and tune in to the next one. You might discover an equine business you haven't heard of yet, or receive advice from experts in their field. Our podcasts are short, informative, and entertaining. Want to learn more about the person you just listened to? Visit horseworldconnect.com and check out the listing page. And by the way, we'd love for you to join our herd and connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.